Hey everybody, Zian over here from Nintendo Life. Now for many players, Sora was basically the dream pick to come to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We thought it would never happen. Never happen. And it may never have happened if Sakurai didn't actually put himself out there. Thanks to a translation by Push Dustin and Cody Nicolo, we recently found out that Masahiro Sakurai, director of Super Smash Bros., bumped into a Disney higher-up at an event, and that's actually how he got the ball rolling on bringing Sora into Smash. Which, funny enough, is kind of how the original idea for Kingdom Hearts was actually conceived in the first place as well, in an elevator between a Squaresoft rep and a Disney rep. And the Kingdom Hearts series is full of that same sort of magic. So to share some of the excitement about Sora coming to Smash, I wanted to share with you a slew of different secrets and Easter eggs we've discovered in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate now that Sora is in the game. Hi, Navi. If you want to experience all of this for yourself, though, just look away from the video now and come back to it after you've played through his Spirit Battles and his Classic mode. Right, Navi? That's what you would do, isn't it? With some of the past Square Enix reps that we have in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like Sephiroth and Cloud, they both happen to have alternate costumes, not just color alternates. Their costumes are legitimately actually different. But with Sora, every costume that he has a different design. His first costume comes straight from Kingdom Hearts 1. His second is from Kingdom Hearts 2. His third is from Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, which came to the 3DS. Then his fourth is from Kingdom Hearts 3. And then his fifth, this monochromatic look, is actually from the Timeless River world in Kingdom Hearts 2. His sixth and seventh costumes both come from Kingdom Hearts 2, the red one being the Valor form and the blue one being the Wisdom form. And his last costume is the Ultimate form from Kingdom Hearts 3. And speaking of his costumes, certain outfits in Kingdom Hearts 2, to my knowledge, allow Sora to wield two Keyblades at the same time. It's a pretty crazy thing, at least it was back then. And Valor form in specific is one of those costumes. Now, you don't have to always have that costume on in order to make this work, but if Sora happens to pick up another sword or even just like another weapon in general, Sora will actually take his Keyblade and kind of hold it over his shoulder, very much like he does in Kingdom Hearts 2 when he's in Valor form. Now, along with Sora comes a brand new stage called Hollow Bastion, which is actually based on one of the later levels or later worlds in the first Kingdom Hearts game. Now, it may not be a one-to-one replica of Hollow Bastion from the PlayStation 2 version, but it looks pretty close with the moving platforms and everything. It's just missing a bunch of Heartless. Now, if you fight in this stage until you have about 45 seconds left or until one person has one stock left, the stage will actually transform into this stained glass looking level instead. And in the background, you'll be able to see one of many different images. There is one, however, that will actually appear with Sora and Riku and Kairi. And you'll also see a Paopu fruit and a raft, which are absolutely from Destiny Island. But traditionally with this artwork, we've seen in the past when they've used this artwork, it's actually supposed to have Donald and Goofy up in here and as well, but I'm assuming they removed them for copyright reasons. Or maybe it's that Sora's starting to forget his memories or something. I don't know. That would never happen, right? Now, along with each Fighter's Pass character comes a batch of spirits that you can fight and unlock, and each battle, of course, is specifically themed around the spirit themselves. And Sakurai and the team have done a great job at actually making it feel like you're fighting against these characters. So the first one is Kairi, which actually pits you against Daisy, which is apparently supposed to be Kairi, and then there's also Sora fighting alongside her. But the cool thing here is that the battle actually takes place on Tortimer's Island, which is probably the closest thing that they could get to Destiny Island. Daisy is also equipped with a lipstick flower weapon as well, which could be sort of a nod to the good luck charm that Kairi gives Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1, because it's kind of flower-like. But while we're here, there's another thing that I wanted to point out as well, is that Sora's swimming animation is extremely accurate to the games themselves. And even his drowning animation, it's not an exact match to any of the scenes that I could find from the Kingdom Hearts cutscenes, but it looks very much inspired by that first intro in the original Kingdom Hearts of Sora kind of basically infinitely falling through water. And now, I'm no She Says boundary breaker either, but if I was able to take the camera kind of underneath the island so you can get a better shot here of Sora. And even though he's drowning, he looks so at peace. Just perfectly simple and clean, you know? Then the next fight is with Ventus, taking the form of Sora with his white outfit and accompanied by Dark Samus, which is likely a reference to Vanitas from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep as well. Next in line is Aqua, which in my opinion was the coolest one, because the battle starts off fighting a bunch of tiny Mr. Game & Watch to give the feeling that you're fighting off a bunch of Heartless, and then a blue Lucina appears out of the shadows and you have to take her on, and then there's Crystal from Star Fox, which appears as an assist trophy, and it's just a really cool battle. Then there's Terra, who fights using Chrom and uses an Ashley assist trophy, as he often in-game in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep will actually use the slow magic spell on his enemies, and that's sort of what Ashley does in turn as well. And then next in line is Riku, which takes on the role of Corrin with a costume that's similar to Riku's Heartless outfit from the first game. He also uses a black hole item at the beginning to even further the idea that he's been truly consumed by darkness. And then Xion's spirit battle gave me a pretty big smile as well, as it actually takes place on Delfino Plaza, which is likely a nod to Twilight Town, where Xion, Axel, and Roxas all hang out in Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Her spirit battle also consists of fighting 3 different Robin characters, 1 femme and 2 male, much like those same characters. Axel also takes on the form of a Fire Emblem character, being Roy, who uses fire attacks and has a flaming sun roll around the stage. The stage is also set to the Kalos Pokemon League as well, which reminds me a bit of Castle Oblivion, but also just uses the stained glass theme that Kingdom Hearts so often is familiar for. And then the Roxas fight pits you against a dual-wielding Sora in his white ultimate form costume. I still have yet to beat this one. It's the only one. It's a challenge, I'll tell you that. Now, as far as Sora's moves go, we could sit down and analyze those all day, and that could potentially get pretty boring, and it could take a lot of time. So instead, we're just going to look at something a little bit more simple. We're going to look at his taunts, which are directly inspired by the game as well. Specifically his up taunt, where Sora appears to cast the magic spells Stop, which actually stops time for an enemy, Cure, which heals a party member, and Arrow, which casts a shield around a party member as well. Now, sadly, none of these taunts actually do anything in-game beyond just give this cosmetic look that he's casting a spell, so don't expect them to actually revive any of your downed teammates or heal you or anything like that. They're purely magic tricks. Now, another cool little Easter egg is that if you happen to be playing as Sora in a stamina battle and you deal the final blow to an enemy, everything on screen will slow down and the screen will sort of blur out, which is exactly how it would happen in a boss battle in the Kingdom Hearts series. But let's say you happen to be playing as Kirby and you try to copy Sora's abilities. You swallow him up, you get the hair, and you get the magic powers, but you also just get a sort of ghostly apparition of the Keyblade. Now, this is possibly due to the fact that the Keyblade chooses its master, and that master must have a strong heart. And that sounds like an entirely different video topic on its own, but maybe Kirby also just isn't as lovable as we thought. After all, he does eat everything, and that's not always the best thing. But this could also just simply come down to the fact that Disney didn't want Kirby to hold the Keyblade. I don't know, but we can speculate, right? Now, to wrap things all up, we're going to be taking a look at Sora's Classic mode, which has a lot of really cool nods to the series here as well. Now, if you haven't already understood this by now, please understand I am terrible at Smash, so don't hate me. Now, the first battle pits Sora against a pair of Darklings, which are likely a call to the time Sora has to fight his own shadow, but it could also just be a simple, heartless nod as well. However, just like in the first fight against Aqua's spirit, the second battle has you fight an onslaught of Game & Watch to evoke the feelings of fighting waves of Heartless. Round 3 gives you the Dream Battle, tossing you in the ring with Cloud, dressed in his Advent Children outfit, which is actually what he wore in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it also sets the scene on the Fire Emblem Coliseum to mimic Hercules Coliseum from the first Kingdom Hearts. Round 4 puts you up against 3 Robin NPCs, much like the Xion battle we talked about before. Round 5, though, took me a bit to understand, but this massive Shadow Ganondorf is likely a nod to the giant Heartless that you fight in the first Kingdom Hearts on Destiny Island. The Find Me stage even reminds me of a devastated Destiny Island as well. And then in round 6, you have to fight a metal version of Sora, which is likely a reference to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, where you actually have to fight a metal armored version of Sora, for a lack of a better term, I guess. I could explain more, but I really don't want to delve into spoiler territory too much, but if you know, you know. Oh, and a big thanks to Skyward Wing for helping me out on this one too. Go give his Kingdom Hearts video a watch. I'll leave it in the description down below. It almost had me tearing up multiple times too, but in a good way. Don't feel bad about it. It was a good cry. It would be a good cry. And then during the credits roll shoot 'em up minigame, you'll actually notice that the music that's playing in the background is the same music that's used during the gummy ship flights from Kingdom Hearts 1, which is sure to invite a bit of nostalgia for some fans. Then the screenshot you get for winning looks like a direct nod to the start screen of Kingdom Hearts 3, featuring Sora standing on Destiny Island holding a tiny warp star in his hand, like as if it were a Paopu fruit. It's perfect. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below any secrets or Easter eggs pertaining to Sora that we may have missed in this video. And let us know your overall thoughts on Sora so far, and if you've picked him up or not, in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you go ahead and unlock that subscribe button with your Keyblade for free, because it doesn't cost anything to do that, and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up a new video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time. Look at you sitting so good in front of the Donkey Kong station. Oh, you just want the pets. That's all she wants, are pets.